All right, healthy scratches. It's May 22nd in Frankie Briley. Well, let's just address it first off. Me and Frankie got sunburned yesterday.
Hold on.
I didn't realize that.
What is this?
Oh, he's getting blown up. It's the pizza place. All right, two-man show.
Did he just take a call?
He just took a call in the middle of the show.
I've never seen.
I hope something terrible happened because that's unprofessional.
There's got to be some sort of bit or something because that was too perfect.
Yes.
No, it sounds bad.
Anyways, yeah, we got sunburned yesterday. Look like a tomato.
I don't know how you're still going.
Yep.
This is just play it and then we'll come back.
All right.
Who was that?
It was an important call.
I mean, they ran out of.
Is that Lou?
No.
No, I wish it was.
They ran out of medium pizzas.
Are we not restarting? Are we still going?
No, we're still going.
Keep it going.
Shit. Is this what we do on the show?
Yeah, we got sunburned yesterday.
I was waiting on that call for an hour and a half.
Well, you took it at the right time.
Sunscreen.
Well, I thought this isn't a live show. I thought we were going to stop it. All right, let's go.
It was funny. I thought it was some sort of bit. I kind of thought that it was like you were going to come back and be like, you know, some sort of.
No, that actually.
I
actually was waiting for that call for like 2.5 hours.
All right, well, I'm happy.
Hey, I'm glad you took it.
Anyways, we have me and Frankie, but we also have quite the guest today, a Vegas insider, and also Tiger Woods' best friend, Eric Nathan. Welcome to the show.
I just got a text. I'm not going to take out my phone and look at it in the middle of the show.
Damn, I didn't get any texts since the show started, and I was going to say that I did, but I didn't. Nate, let's talk Vegas really fast. They're going to the Cup Finals. It's old news at this point. I mean, you were there on Friday.
I went to game 4 when they went 3 games to 1. It was awesome. It's everything they say it is. It's better than they say it is. It exceeded the hype. I was blown away by it.
So you liked it?
Yeah, it's just like it's so different than any other game that I've been to. Like they don't like
a Capitals game.
Like there's no like charge. Like it's like meant for adults and it's just like loud and like fans are crazy and it's just like so well done. I had to walk through a bar to get to my seats. Like I could not get to my seats without going through a bar. It's just like it's an amazing place, amazing game.
Did you get to see the pregame show?
Oh yeah.
What was that like in person?
I mean, fantastic.
So you're saying in no way, shape, or form is it built for like bringing your kids to a game? Like
they would show kids on the jumbotron, and like every single kid had those huge headphones on, like the noise canceling ones, because it's like so loud in there.
Yeah.
But like they really they do it Vegas style to the max, and would recommend.
There's another question. This could be ignorant, but like with an expansion team in a city that has never had a pro sports team before, as far as like Major 4. Did they seem like as knowledgeable as like any other, like as a Capitals game or something? Like,
I mean, nobody's sitting there like breaking down the X's and O's. People were all sitting there, you know, drinking and just going nuts. And like they've embraced the team, like, you know, tenfold. Just mostly because like everybody was hungry for sports. This team's fantastic. The arena, like they do everything correctly there. Like they don't do anything wrong. Like everything is just so well done and so perfectly done that you can't help but just have a great time there. You know, just hanging out with like John Taffer, who's in my row. You know, just like
John Taffer's a huge Vegas Golden Knights fan. He invites Dave to like every single game.
Yeah, like, he has been when he came for radio. He was too. It was months ago.
And he rocks the Golden Knights logos everywhere.
Yeah, my friend Daniel Negreanu, next section over, had better seats than him. Whatever.
You had one hell of a weekend.
Yeah, all in all, a good time.
This weekend, Nate?
No, that was about it.
Okay, cool. And speaking of Vegas, we have Jordy back in the mix. Talking about maybe a little bit of a payola scandal.
Makes you think.
It's the question that quite literally everybody has been asking. Just how much money does Gary Bettman owe and to whom? It's the only reasonable explanation for how the Vegas Golden Knights, an expansion team playing in their first season in the NHL, could have already made it to the Stanley Cup Final. Now listen, I understand that this is a team full of castaways who have rallied together, the Golden Misfits. They came into this season with something to prove after they were all told by their former clubs that they're basically worthless and were left unprotected at the expansion draft. But still, this shit just does not happen. Or at least, it doesn't happen on its own, which is why I'm thoroughly convinced that Gary Bettman has his slimy paws all over this one. But why? Why would Gary Bettman want the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final their first year in the league? Well, it's easy. Just think about it. I mean, did Bettman lose a shit ton of money on the World Cup of Hockey last year? Now he needs to make a deal with Vegas to make that money back, get them into the Stanley Cup? Maybe. Who knows? Or did Gary Bettman know that sports gambling was going to be legalized, and now he's making a deal with the casinos once they start making billions and billions and billions of more dollars? He's getting a little piece of the pie. something's fishy here, all right? Something doesn't quite add up. There's something going on here, and I am not going to sleep until I get to the bottom of it.
So I feel like
Yeah,
Winnipeg
you
is kind of a weird way to flame out. I really thought they would take that series longer, but Vegas is just swarming. That Riley Smith goal that hit the white paint before it even, oh my God,
Unreal.
dude. You want to talk about getting a tingly sensation in your nether regions?
At what
Frank?
point? So I know that Canadian teams have just been folding for the past like 20 years, but at what
25.
25 years? But at what point is Winnipeg?
Winnipeg and Toronto are on the up and up.
But is Winnipeg at the point where they're starting to get like frustrated that they're not winning, or are they at the point where like they're
No,
just
this was
they're at the
first
beginning?
series I think
I'd
they've
say-
won this
But
year.
I'm saying like, so do they encapsulate like Canada's struggles, or do they not give a fuck? That's basically what I'm trying
To
to get.
me, Winnipeg
Like,
was
are they saying,
very-
oh, like we were here to to finally win one? The whole entire storyline was it's Canada's last team in the playoffs. So are they
That's-
saying
yeah.
like, oh, this was our chance to do it, or
That's
or
how
are
it
they-
is every year when there's
Yeah.
like one Canadian team left. Like they all like pool
Do you think that
together.
adds more pressure to a team playing in the playoffs? And not only do
No.
they have to, their fan base is rooting for them, but now all of a sudden they have the entire country on their backs.
Honestly,
facing
I don't think that they had the most American players on their team of any team left.
So you don't think
That's
these
a
can?
stat.
So you don't.
That is a
So you
stat.
don't think
Vegas has the most Canadian ones.
So there's nothing
They
to
went
really
to the
look.
Cup final. That's not a good look for American hockey. But
There's nothing to
anyways,
really
What
look
about the
into
most
with that.
That's you.
Yeah.
What do you say? No, I don't think it does because when it comes down to it, like Biz was saying yesterday, he's like they don't even care about like if it's a home game. It's like I was asking like, is it pressure to win because you're at home? He's
Yeah.
like, if you think about that, you're a mental midget.
Yeah,
There's
see,
no way like
that's the way I believe too, and I hate on Twitter just everyone making that storyline. It's about making storylines now in media, and I
yeah.
despise it. It's like, oh, this is Canada's last chance to win a Stanley Cup for
Well-
the first time in 25 years. It's like, I really don't think these teams give a fuck about
the
like the
teams
general
don't, but
consensus of the
the
Canada's
fans
not
But
winning.
like
Definitely do.
Canada as a country, they want to bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada.
I
Like
definitely-
whatever
I can see
team
that.
wins the cup for the first time, like after this 25-year dry spell, like fans from like Vancouver will be flying there, or like from Winnipeg will be flying to Montreal.
I don't think they will.
It's like
man.
Canadian
I think they
players
will.
are
I don't
all
think at
like,
all. I think those teams
I
hate
think-
each other
no,
most of the time.
but
There's no chance that
Canadians
like Toronto
just
be flying
I think
to Ottawa.
my
No chance.
my opinion is like Canada's just so obsessed with hockey and the cup, they just want it to come back to Canada as like a national thing.
I'm sure they do, but I don't think any Vancouver fans are going to celebrate like a Leafs Cup win. That sounds
yeah,
crazy.
that's what I mean. I don't
Okay.
think
There's
I don't
no
think it's
way.
just realistic. It's
And
not
also-
realistic.
Also, a lot of
storyline.
Maple Leafs fans in Vancouver, in the other cities, fly across the country for like if
their own
Toronto,
team,
yeah.
but-
That's more likely.
No,
but
no Canadians fans are going to be celebrating a Leafs victory. There's just no
No,
chance
you're
that
right.
happens in human history. Maybe it will, and I'll be an idiot, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's move on to the Caps sliding, Nate. So you're pretty much just an insider at this point. You're going to Vegas games. You got Caps games. I mean, are you going to go to Game 7 in Tampa?
I will not be a Game 7. I think PFT will be a Game 7.
Really?
I will not be a Game 7 now.
I mean, what was your thoughts as far as last game? It really seemed like the Tides, the way it was turning, they would be eliminated in 6. Showed
No.
a lot of gumption.
When we lost Game 5, when I was in Vegas, I did TV in DC, and I said we're still winning
Not
in
a big
7.
deal.
Yeah, I
Wait,
did it.
what'd you? So you did a TV show?
I did TV from Vegas. Just
Oh,
I'm a hard
okay,
worker.
cool.
I left the casino.
Nate is
TV.
low key the biggest TV presence we have right now
Yeah.
in Barstool.
Consistency
I'm not
wise,
even
yeah.
kidding. He's been on TV more in recent times than anyone
just do
else on
post-game
Barstool.
and
When you have a
DC.
face like that, though, they're just trying to shuffle you in, get him
I
on,
mean,
get him on
my-
camera as
my-
much as possible.
Real quick, playoff beard. I haven't trimmed it or anything.
Looks great.
I mean, it's going out of control. But if we make the cup and I haven't trimmed it yet, I have to keep it going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
I mean, obviously. I actually
how playoff
screenshotted
beards
this
work.
last night. I meant to tweet it. Braden Holtby's neck beard. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy. It's disgusting.
I mean,
It looks so gross, dude. It's
Do
like
you-
his
are you-
chest is like.
Are you getting rid of
flo-
your? I mean, you look
Oh.
like you're doing a little.
yeah, no,
trimming.
I clean up down here, but like this part right here, like the
Does
mustache
that go
part.
against the rules?
is, like-
Like, are you allowed to clean
I
up?
think a lot of players clean up.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
think
we're
that's-
literally
I
talking
think
about Braden
that's
Holtby's neck
frowned
beard. I
upon.
don't
No,
know
not
if he's-
him, but I think I was looking
He
closely.
should. I would be okay if Holtby wanted to clean it up. I
Right.
would waive his like curseness. I'd
I was
be like, that's all right, dude.
I was looking closely at the players
it's
last night. I
disgusting.
think like it looks like a bunch of them do just like straight.
The
up
only
around
reason
edges.
I don't grow a beard is because the Islanders don't make the playoffs.
True.
It's the only reason.
How long would it take you to get anything going?
Well, I mean, I just
As long
don't.
as it'll
you
take
don't
Lamoriello
do you
to
not
turn
get?
around.
Do you not get the joke, Nate?
I'm just saying,
I
how
don't grow
long?
Joke
a
is
beard.
he
I
hasn't
get
had
it.
a great beard.
I get it, but how long would it take you to get a beard in? Like 6
Probably
months?
like you said, as long as it would take Lamoriello to rebuild the Islanders, probably like 3 to 4 years.
Which we'll get to in a second, but let's get to the hard-hitting analysis first. Nate.
Caps
I
in
mean,
7.
I think this also, Tampa in that third period, I mean, they came out swarming them, dude.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to tie it up. Even Kucherov with 8 seconds left in the second hitting the crossbar like that.
Dude, that would have been the most Caps thing ever. They kick Beagle out of the faceoff.
Yes.
7 for 8 on faceoffs. They kick him out. Tampa wins the faceoff cleanly, and then like an inch away from
He's
tying it
so
up.
dangerous. The fact that he had like a phone booth to shoot in right there and puts it off the crossbar. Hope he didn't even see it. He like reacted.
He had no
It was
idea.
already on the other side. I don't know, man. Game 7 in Tampa. I have to think it looks like home ice advantage has mattered the past, so it's crazy after the beginning of the season.
I mean, we won games 1 and 2 in Tampa.
I really think Tampa has to come out and hold on, but at this point, it seems like the Capitals are a team of destiny the way that it's looking.
Ooh, that's
No, I'm picking the Bolts. I'm just saying 100% picking the Bolts.
I was gonna say it's a team of destiny in the other way. Like they just have to lose.
Oh, like
no,
it's very
they-
Caps to go to Game 7 and
Yes.
then lose the Game 7.
I would have said that about the Penguins last series, and they closed them out.
I do think Tampa is a little too experienced to have the momentum carry over and be too much for them to handle for Game 7.
Just 'cause
I
they're-
do,
yeah, I see
I
what
do
you're
think that Tampa's just way too stacked to say like, all right, we lost Game 6. Like we're at home. Like we're just not gonna lose.
It
this next game.
reminded
We're gonna
me of-
just bolt down and just make
And
sure
like,
we
even
win.
though they lost yesterday and like Capitals were dominating
still played
for
a
periods
great
of it,
game.
the third period of
I
that
wouldn't
game,
say
they
that.
were
I mean,
swarming them.
Vasilevsky stood on his head.
He played a great game.
And, I mean,
the rest
they-
of the team, I don't think showed as much hustle, heart,
For
anything.
most of the game, they played just like
I mean, the Caps-
period to period with the Caps. I mean, it wasn't a. They were in the game
I
the
don't know.
entire time to the last few minutes.
they
I thought they were as well. In that third period, a couple of those saves. At the
I mean, how
beginning
can you say that they
Holtby
weren't
makes.
when they had a chance to tie up the game?
No, I know.
15 different opportunities in the last minute.
The Caps dominated. I mean, the Caps played like a perfect game. Like they dominated Tampa for.
Well,
the majority
yeah,
of the game.
they played their game. They definitely won. They definitely beat them in most categories. And if you want to go by the stats, they probably had a better game. But Tampa Bay just like weathered
were
the
still
storm
there.
and
Yeah,
they
they
stayed
were-
there.
they were very
And I
capable
think
of
that
tying
that
the game.
shows that going into Game 7, they still have
So
that confidence.
Let's kick it to Nick and Booze for some more Game 7 preview.
You didn't really think the Washington Capitals were going to get a shot at the Stanley Cup without going through at least one Game 7, did you? Here we go. Game 6 last night, Tampa, Washington. It was all Vasilevsky early, but he just couldn't hold up from the onslaught.
Yeah, what it really came down to was the Capitals were just way more physical than the Lightning. Brooks Orpik, or in Penis Head Pierre Maguire's world, Brooks Orpik, was a man on a goddamn mission last night. That dude was tossing bodies around left and right, and it worked for the Capitals. The Lightning, they played timid all game. Pretty much all of their shots came from the perimeter, and it really showed, and they got shut out.
You said it. They couldn't get to the center of the ice. The Caps did a good job of insulating there. And then Devontae Smith-Pelly, too, scores a goal and knocks out a Lightning guy and his own teammate, basically, obliterating anyone in his path. The Caps have been much better in the physical department. And then now here we go. Game 7. Who you got?
Well, obviously, I'm sticking with the Lightning. I think they're going to be able to get it done at home with all their fans, the crowd on their backs. Let's go, Lightning.
From what I've seen, from what the Caps have showed me so far, from top to the bottom of their lineup, I got to go with the Caps.
Reverse jinx still on?
Yeah. Yep.
You heard it here first. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick and Booze. I like seeing them back. Nick, obviously after the Penguins series, he was on a little bit of a hiatus.
Oh well.
And Booze, I think he's just the biggest Capitals fans because they beat the Penguins.
Anything,
you have to
I mean,
admit-
do you feel bad for Nick for what you guys did to him?
What after they went back-to-back cups? Yeah, I feel bad for.
Let's get down to the biggest story of the
Love you,
show
Nick.
for our good friend Frankie.
Congratulations to
Lou
Frankie
Lamoriello.
Borelli.
We called it on the show, not called it, but we predicted.
expected it.
Yeah, he is now taking over what is being said hockey operations.
You needed
The
it.
head of it.
It's just something that, so I guess the Islanders organization looked at this upcoming offseason. It's a huge offseason for the Islanders. John Tavares, obviously, an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, he is. Wow. What if he doesn't play
And-
next year?
Wow,
And-
did that upset you?
Oh, I mean, you guys are still doing this, even though we're about to talk about how we're going to keep him.
so
We're
what
about to
is
talk
it?
about how we're going to keep
Go
him.
on.
You guys
Sorry.
keep chirping me about John
We
Tavares.
apologize.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable move to bring in a guy that just knows how to direct a front office on how to build a team. So bringing in a guy like Lou Lamoriello, he's got 3 Stanley Cup rings. He has a World Series ring. Little did you guys know, he was on the Yankees. He was in 2009 Yankees ownership group. He's been coaching since he's been in the NHL since 1984, 1987.
So maybe the game's passed him by.
No, but it's not. No, he was first appointed to president of the Devils in 1987. It's been 30 years. But anyway, a guy like that doesn't need to be the GM. He's the head of hockey operation. He just needs to sit into
He
it.
is the GM, though.
He needs to sit in office. He needs to just overlook them at their facilities and be like, You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. This is how we do things. This is how we win championships. This is how we build a team. Like, stop being so loyal to fucking people. Like, if your coach isn't doing well, fire him. If your GM's not doing well, fire him. If a player's not performing, trade him. Like, that's what the Islanders have to do, and they've never done it. Every free agency, every single trade deadline, they don't do anything because they're so loyal to their players. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Do you think your owners are going to let him reign freely like that?
Yeah, I saw.
They have to. You don't bring them in unless you agree to that.
I've heard that before with Dan Snyder with the Redskins.
No,
and,
Lou Lamoriello is the type of guy that brings you to the back of an Italian restaurant and like he takes out like the meat cleaver and he's like, you either go or you stay, and like I'm gonna put this thing on. I'm gonna. This is gonna be on top of your hand, and if you stay, you're under my. If you stay, you're under my thumb. So it's either you go or you stay under my thumb. And then,
all right, Frankie.
Yes, that's exactly the type of guy he is. It is the type of guy he is.
Did that happen in the back of Borelli's Italian restaurant?
It could be. Hey, that's a great spot for him to come. It's right across the street from the practice facility. Lou, you are welcome anytime you want. They need to be held accountable. That's the biggest thing. Because look, a team like the Vegas Golden Knights can fucking make the Stanley Cup regardless of who you have on your team. You can just do it if you have a winning culture.
It's not regardless of who they have on their
it's
team.
very
It's
dependent on
because
who
of
they
who
have
they
on
have
your
on their team.
But that's what are you talking about? It's the entire storyline of what they are this year. They got a bunch of guys through the expansion draft and guys
Pretty
that came up with
good guys, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good guys. You don't need these all-stars that everyone's talking about. Like they're not. They don't have
So
a
you
bunch
don't
of
need
all-stars.
Tavares.
There you
you
go,
go.
Frankie.
To
Ship
add
him
a
out.
team.
Clear some cap
To
space.
add to your team.
Is Frankie
Ship-
anti-JT?
Ship JT out. Get that 10 mil cap space.
Yeah.
You're right.
Build that
These
Get
guys
that
are just a
random
bunch of
defenseman.
trolls. It's a great move for the Islanders to have a guy like Lou Lamoriello coming in and just overseeing
And
everything.
breaking news, he doesn't want JT to
I mean, that's
resign.
literally not what I
JT,
said. I said that a
ship him
team
out
like
for
Vegas
random
Golden Knights,
players.
You can win with anybody.
you can.
You can. That's the show. We're off the rails.
You can.
All right. You can win with
All
anybody.
right. Caps in 7, what's your...
Bolts in 7. I was
Yes,
going to say
Bolts in
Bolts in
7.
6 to be funny, but it obviously wasn't that funny. Bolts in 6 or 7. Who do you got?
7 bolts.
All right.
All right.
There it is.
See you in Vegas.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.